I'm going to go through this question on ratio, number of items and price of each item. It has got something to do with parts and units. Question 1. Alfred bought some files and pens in the ratio of 4:7. Sorry, 7:4. Each file costs $2 and each pen costs $4. He spent a total of $420. How much did he spend on the files he bought? This question, we're going to draw a model where we're going to draw a box to represent the number of files. Let me write this on top here so I don't get confused. This is file and this is pen. Now I'm going to draw a box over here that represents the amount of files. There's 7 units of files. Okay, and each file costs $2. So I'm going to draw it slightly smaller like this. Okay. This will be for the files, which is 7 units. This represents the number of items. Okay, we know that this is $2. Okay, so if we use the number of items, okay, multiply by the cost of each item, the area over here is going to give us the total amount of money that's spent on the files. Now let us draw another box that represents the pen. Okay, the pen is in the is 4 units and each pen will cost $4. So I'm going to draw another box over here. $4 will be double, right? But it is in 4 units. So let me try and draw 4 units. Should be something like this, right? Okay, so the black color box is for the pens. Okay, which is 4 units. Same thing, this represents the number. And the height over here is the cost of each pen, which is $4. Now if you look at this model, we know that the area of these two combined shape is $420. I'm going to cut it into equal parts. So this is going to become, I'm going to cut one line over here and cut one line over here and cut one line over here, so that each row represents $1. So I'm supposed to cut this into 7 parts. I'm going to try and cut it into equal parts. And for the pen, it will be cut into 4 columns. Okay, so we know that each one of this is equal to each one of these, right? Now, if we were to count the total number of units, okay, we can let this be equal to 1 unit. Okay, for the files, there will be, right, 7 times 2, 14 units, right? And for the number of pen, it will be 4 times 4. This is for the files. For the pen, it will be 16 units. Altogether, it will be 30 units, and it is equal to the $420. Now, once we find what is 1 unit, which is equal to $14. Okay, the question is asking us to find how much did he spend on the files he bought. the files, there are 14 units, so I will just need to find what is 14 units. 14 units will be $14 multiplied by $14. Sorry, $14 multiplied by 14 units, which is $196. If you look over here, we know that this one unit is $14, right? And we know that here to here is $1, which means that we know that here to here is basically 14, okay, which will allow us to find the number of pens and the number of files also. We move on to the next question, which is similar to this. Question 2. A group of teachers and students visited a museum. The ratio of the number of teachers, remember this is a number, teachers to the number of students, okay, is 2:7. They paid $689 altogether. How many teachers visited the museum? So this question over here is the same as the previous one. I'll try to solve it a bit quickly with the model. So I'm going to draw a box that represents the number of teacher, which is 2 units. Okay, so this is oh, okay, the museum ticket prices are shown over here. Adult is $9 and student is $5. Teachers will be 2 unit multiplied by $9. So I'm gonna draw a bit longer. Okay, so this will be for the teacher. The number is 2 units, and here to here would be $9. I'm going to draw another box which represents the number of students. Students will be 7 units. Okay, and then the price of each student is $5. $5 is somewhere here, 7 units. Gonna be a bit difficult to gauge, but I think it should be around here. I think this is good enough, but let me just move this closer. This will be 7 units, which represents the students, and here to here would be $5. Now altogether they paid $689, so we know that the two area, right, is going to add up to become $689. I'm going to do this. We know that the area of this blue color box will be 9 times 2, which is $18 unit, and this would be 7 times 5 is $35 unit, which means that if I use the $18 unit plus the $35 unit, it is gonna be equal to the $689. So which means that dollars 53 unit is equals to 689. 1 unit will be equal to $13. Okay, if I want to find how many teachers visited the museum, I need to find what is $18 unit, which is 30 times 18, and that is gonna give me $234. Okay, and since the cost of each adult ticket is $9, so if you use 234 divided by 9, that is going to give me 26, which means that there are 26 teachers.